Hello, greetings from the University of New Mexico. Welcome. We'd like to say hello and a big warm welcome to you. The University of New Mexico is located in Albuquerque, New Mexico in the southwest Rocky Mountain region of the USA. Here you'll see an image of our main library. There are 7 libraries at the University of New Mexico campus. The University of New Mexico is the main public research university for the state of New Mexico, located in the southwest of the US between Texas and California. Albuquerque is the largest city in the state of New Mexico. In Albuquerque, you will find we are located on the western slope of the Rocky Mountains, which you'll see an image of that there. It's called the Sandia Mountain here next to Albuquerque. We are also next to the Rio Grande. That's an image you'll see there. The Rio Grande River runs right through the middle of the city in the middle of the state. And you'll also see images of a hot air balloon festival. We have the largest hot air balloon festival in the world. It's called the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. There are about 1 million people in the metro area of Albuquerque, New Mexico, around 600,000 in the actual city proper. It's a big enough city to offer all of the resources and needs for a student, but it's not such a massive city for a student to get lost, and it's certainly not a small village for them to get too bored. So we welcome many students to Albuquerque every year at the University of New Mexico, and we look forward to meeting more students who will be coming to us from EDUCO from around the world. The University of New Mexico, as I mentioned earlier, it is a large public research university founded in 1889. It has a 700-acre campus that is a designated arboretum, which is essentially a tree museum. You'll find that we are located in a region that has great weather. There are 310 official days of sunshine per year, approximately 29,000 students, and you'll meet currently 1,500 international students. Here you'll see some of the statistics about the university. Most importantly, there are over 215 degree programs offered at all levels, undergraduate, for bachelor's study, master's, as well as PhD at the graduate level. Here are some of the schools and colleges that make up the University of New Mexico. It's a very comprehensive university. You'll see the Anderson School of Management, where all of the business programs are located at both the bachelor's and master's program, including MBA and Masters of Accounting. The School of Architecture and Planning offers programs in landscape architecture, traditional architecture, urban design, historic preservation. Arts and Sciences is the largest college for the University of New Mexico. You will find all the programs related to humanities, social sciences, as well as physical science within the College of Arts and Sciences. Education trains future teachers as well as school administrators and has many programs at the undergraduate and graduate level, including a program called Educational Linguistics that's also very popular for international students. School of Engineering is probably the most popular school for international students. The University of Mexico has a very robust engineering program. You'll find programs in engineering at the bachelor's, master's, and PhD level in a wide range of engineering programs, such as electrical engineering, computer engineering, chemical engineering, nuclear engineering, I think I already said that, pardon me, civil engineering, computer science is also housed in the School of Engineering. Fine arts, that's a thriving program. University of New Mexico has a long history in the arts. You'll find programs there in traditional arts such as painting, sculpture, which we call studio arts. There's also an extensive music program in the College of Fine Arts and a thriving film program as well. College of Nursing, medical school, there's also a law school and a pharmacy school at the University of New Mexico. So essentially, we probably have the program, if a student wants it, available at the University of New Mexico. We are proud of the reputation of the University of New Mexico as a research university. It is classified as a high research activity institution, which means it has the highest level of research activity done on its campus. So fully comprehensive campus, you'll see a lot of activity happening here. Some statistics there, there's about $310 million of US dollars conducted in research contracts and grants every year. Recently, the University of New Mexico was ranked as the number 95 public university in the US. You'll see some of the other rankings here in that listing as well. Campus life. The University of New Mexico, like most US universities, has a very thriving campus community. Students can live on campus for all 4 years if they'd like to. There are many different clubs and activities for students to get involved in, over 400 student clubs and organizations. There is a very thriving international student community as well, where students are assisted whenever they arrive to campus to get comfortable with the campus community as well as the surrounding city and local community. We're very proud of our lobos. The lobo is the mascot for the university. It's a Spanish word for wolf. So the mascot for the University of New Mexico is the lobo. You can find more information at this abq2do.com website. That'll give you more information about the city of Albuquerque. Here's some views of the campus. You'll see that the University of Mexico has very distinct architecture. The architecture is modeled after indigenous architecture from pre-Columbian communities that have existed here for centuries. And you'll see that a lot of the campus reflects that type of architecture with this sort of earthen adobe look. There are also other contemporary modern glass buildings as well, but in these photos here, you'll see a little bit of what that looks like. Students can live on campus. As I mentioned earlier, they're allowed to live on campus all 4 years if they so choose. Here's some images from the campus housing. You'll see some of them are quite luxurious. They have swimming pool and hot tubs. Others are more of your standard traditional dormitories where a student can have a double or single room. There are many options for students. Students can also live off campus. Many of the graduate students will choose to live off campus in private housing. So that is another option as well. The admissions process for the University of Mexico, I think, is quite straightforward. In general, there are three main areas that the student needs to complete. There is an application for admission that's finished on our website. So that's either an undergraduate or graduate. They go to the International Admissions webpage. They fill out the application form there. We ask for their credentials from their previous school. If it's an undergraduate, it should come from their current high school or high school if they just completed it. Graduate students, we request their credentials from their previous universities, any universities or colleges attended. And then we do require standardized test scores, particularly the English exam results. All international students from a non-English speaking country do need to submit English proficiency results, either the TOEFL, IELTS, Pearson test of English. We also now take the Duolingo English test. For undergraduate students, we do not require the SAT or ACT. If they've taken it, that's wonderful. It can help them with placement in some courses, or it might even assist them with a little bit of scholarship if their grade average is a little bit low. At the graduate level, of course, there's no SAT required for graduate students. There are many programs that do require the GRE, so it's important for students to look at the specific requirements for their graduate, master's, or PhD program that they might be interested in. So these are the three main things we require: an application for admission, both undergraduate or graduate, copies of their credentials from their previous school or college, and then an English exam result at minimum if they're from a non-English speaking country, possibly the GRE if they're at a graduate level program. And we can assist the students or yourself to find the requirements for the graduate level programs. The University of New Mexico offers scholarships. The two highlighted in yellow are the most popular that we do offer for students from around the world: the International Amigo Scholarship on the far left and the Leadership Scholarship, which is a little bit in the middle. The International Amigo Scholarship will give an international student the University of New Mexico's in-state tuition. So with the International Amigo Scholarship, they will pay the local tuition rate. At UNM, as a public university, we have in-state tuition and out-of-state tuition. In-state is a lower cost typically reserved for students who are residents of this state. With the Amigo Scholarship, an international student or somebody from outside of the state of New Mexico, both within the US or around the world, can get the same lower in-state tuition rate. So all students are automatically reviewed for these scholarships. There's no separate application. If they complete their application for admission, they will be reviewed for a scholarship and notified soon after their notification of admission. So we'd certainly encourage students to apply for admission, complete their applications, and then they can be reviewed for one of these scholarships. Here's some information about the tuition. This is the tuition and fees for an undergraduate student. The rate in the middle there, the $23,417, that is the regular tuition rate. That's what we would call out-of-state tuition. That is the largest amount of tuition that a student could pay. That's typically reserved for students who are not from the state of New Mexico. So that would be the out-of-state tuition. It's listed here as regular tuition. The one on the right that's listed under undergraduate with Amigo Scholarship, that is the resident or in-state tuition. So if a student gets the Amigo Scholarship, instead of paying $23,417, they would pay $7,681. So you can see that's essentially what the reduction is. The other costs listed there, room and board, books and supplies, transportation, those costs do not change with scholarship. Those remain the same. Those are the estimated costs that we report to the US government. And those are what a student would need to demonstrate financial support to get their I-20 document, to get their US student visa document to apply for the student visa. So without the Amigo scholarship, it would be $23,417 plus the other costs. If they get the Amigo scholarship, instead of $23,000, it's $706.81 plus those other costs. Here's the same thing, but for a graduate student. These are general costs for master's or PhD. Regular tuition out of state. If a student has no scholarship, the regular out of state tuition is $21,262. If a graduate student gets the Amigo scholarship, it's reduced down to approximately $9,011. So it's a big difference there, in-state versus out-of-state. Now, it's important to note that the graduate programs are all very different. Some of them might have a little bit of different costs depending on labs that might be required. Some of them have what we call a differential cost. So if we get to a student who's interested in one of the programs, we can give them a little bit more nuanced information about that. But these are the general costs. So graduate regular without any scholarship is $21,262. If they get the Amigo, it's $9,011. Those other costs remain the same with the total cost to get the I-20 document. So without any scholarship support to receive the I-20 document, it's about $38,089. With the Amigo scholarship, it's reduced down to about $25,638. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the Center for English Language and American Culture, Dr. Paul Edmonds, who will take over from here.
My name is Paul Edmonds. I'm the director for the Center for English Language and American Culture. We call it CELAC. We're the intensive English program at the University of New Mexico, designed for international students who would like to improve their academic English in order to matriculate into studies at UNM. About 50% of our students actually do continue on to the University of New Mexico. Sometimes that percentage is up to 70%. The majority of them continue on to undergraduate programs, but definitely others do continue on to graduate programs. And our program is centered around the 4 main skills in English of grammar, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Those are going to be the skills that are most necessary for their success in the academic classroom. So each of the students will take those 4 classes for their academic English preparation on a daily basis, and then continue with their studies. A great benefit of coming to our intensive English program is the International Admission Pathway Program. And this means that students who complete full-time studies at the top level of our program do not need a TOEFL or IELTS or a Duolingo test, any proficiency test, to study full-time at UNM. That's true across the board for undergraduate programs. No further English documentation is required. And for many of our graduate programs, including those in the popular areas of engineering and business, that is also the case. I mentioned just a little bit ago about the different courses offered. Those are there on the left. So again, we have academic writing, academic reading, conversation, and grammar. The conversation course is going to really be geared at speaking and listening, debating, asking questions in the classroom, doing oral presentations, either individually or in group. So really we try to concentrate on the English skills that students need for their academic classroom. And then on the right side, we have the 5 different levels. So the academic bridge level is the top level. And that's the level that I mentioned that students should pass through at a full-time status in order to join the pathway program and not need a further English proficiency result. Our teachers are very experienced. All of them have at least a master's degree in fields such as linguistics or education. Many also have PhDs, many years of teaching experience, both in the United States and abroad. Our instructors have all learned a second language themselves, so they know exactly what it means to be studying a language such as English and needing to have those skills for their success. And also with that, the instructors have understanding of different cultures. Many having lived abroad themselves, they know what it's like to live in a different culture, in a different country, having to adapt to those circumstances, and really are empathetic with the students, while teaching the English. So as far as our students, in the fall and spring semesters, we'll typically have between 45 and 50 students in our center. CELAC helps with the immigration process by issuing the I-20, so the students can get their visa interview at the consulate abroad. In summer, sometimes we have up to 80 students, and from a very diverse number of countries. When we do have those larger groups of students, we'll often find 20 to 30 different countries represented. So it's really quite incredible. We do try to maintain smaller class sizes between 8 and 16 students, so that each student has a chance to really practice their English individually as well as with the class. English is the only language to be spoken in class. When students are outside of class, they can do whatever they like, but we do really encourage them to continue using their English only outside of the class so they can get the most chances to practice. And we also have some fun cultural field trips. So we will take the students, here are some pictures. We have seen the Very Large Array, which was actually featured in the movie Contact, their radio telescopes. At the top middle, we have a picture of our students in kind of the center of town. There's games, there's skiing in the winter, there's swimming in the summer, and there's different national monuments, as well as attractions that we will take our students to see. As far as requirements, because we are a university-based English program, the student should be at least 18 years of age and have a high school diploma with a minimum GPA of 2.0. And they should also have at least a low intermediate level language ability. So we do ask to see that they have studied at least one semester of English at their home institution or previously, for example, in high school, because we do not have a class for absolute beginners. Our program dates follow the dates of the University of New Mexico. So we do have a summer 8-week program, which is the months of June and July. Students may also take a 4-week program in either June or July. And then we have the full 16-week semester in fall and spring, again, following the dates of the University of New Mexico. This picture has, of course, students, and in the background, one of our dormitories, as Pablo mentioned, and the Sandia Mountains, which are really quite spectacular. In the summer, there's hiking in those mountains, and in the winter, there's skiing on the other side. So really exciting for our students. These are the program costs. The costs are very competitive for this intensive English market. Full-time study is just over $4,200 for a 16-week semester. That price does include fees such as access to the Student Health Center and so on. And then the summer session and 8 and 4-week summer sessions are included here as well. From time to time, we will have a special spring or summer camp, and so you can always contact us for details about those opportunities. Again, CELAC does help with all of the immigration process. So students will apply online. There's a $50 application fee, and they should upload their demographics and, of course, international documentation such as their passport, also a financial guarantee. And then we will process the I-20 and ship it to the students. For the application process, you can find that on our website. And definitely, if you have any questions about how that process works, feel free to contact us. For more information, you can find all about it at our webpage, which is CELAC.unm.edu. And we would love to show you all that we have to offer. So here I will leave you with the contact details for Pablo and myself. We have our email addresses and phone numbers, as well as the information to reach the Global Education Office. We hope we hope you will either visit us soon yourselves, or certainly send your students to study with us. It would be a great privilege to count on your support. Thank you so much.